Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We're trying to keep calm and stay local and eat local and support friends and have people that we visit with. And I live in the city and watching the city sort of boarded up and going away. We're trying to spotlight some people that are in my life and people that I've kind of always wanted to have on the show, but Jerry Gutierrez has been serving me beer and lime and shrimp tacos and fresh salsa over at Taco Fiesta when I run for groceries and over in Harbor East for many, many years. I want to welcome him onto the program for the first time. You know, I guess back in the days when I took phone calls and whatnot, guys like you were the ones calling me up when I was talking about Tony Gwynn or something that moved you. You're the San Diego guy that came to Baltimore. I don't find a lot of those, Jerry. More guys like me that from Baltimore that wanted to get to San Diego, right?
Yeah, first off, I got to say, I honestly believed I was going to be on your show again right about now, but I thought that would be to be talking about San Diego State basketball.
Right.
And the season they were having. That kind of went out the window quick.
It is amazing how quickly a pandemic undoes your life, right? Like whether it's your business, your family, wherever it is, kids in school, sports, plans you had. I remember when I was really kind of pissed off when Pearl Jam canceled, right? That was like less than 2 weeks ago, and now the concert's coming up, and Saturday will come and go, and I guess I won't think about it, or maybe when I pulled it off my calendar, I won't. But when you think of the undoing from Pearl Jam canceling straight on through basketball, lacrosse, things we would be doing this weekend. I mean, the Terps would be playing in Madison Square Garden this weekend, right? I mean, and for anyone who's a sports fan, yeah, it sucks, and that was taken away. But it's almost like I miss sports, but I sort of miss the humanity of like fist bumping you and having a beer with a lime and listening to music in your bar, right? I mean, we miss the thing, and it doesn't take long to miss that part of it, right? It's kind of like when you catch a cold for a week and you're like, man, I want to taste food again. I want fresh air. I want to touch people again, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're all in the same boat. We've all had things cancel on us and big things, and personally and business wise and whatever. But I think, just as a society, as a world, we've all come together and realized that, hey, this thing is just bigger than all our the little things we had planned. And we realize how insignificant those things were now. And, we're just trying to pull together, and everybody's trying to do the right thing and, getting through this, and we'll do it together.
Well, it's the 1 year San Diego State could have won a national championship, your alma mater. I have a bunch of old fun pictures of me. I owned an SDSU sweatshirt that I bought in the well, my aunt lived right off campus, right? So maybe this goes back to our roots and our relationship and the things we've talked about over the years that have been fun for us. But I had a fascination with San Diego. I wrote a book about my father back in 2006. My father's sister moved out to San Diego. She moved right off the campus at College Avenue in Montezuma and El Cajon. And I started going out there in 1985, and once I could fly and had a key to my Aunt Jane's house, I fell in love with fish tacos and Rubio's Fish Tacos. And in 1998, Ralph Rubio from Rubio's Fish Tacos sat on a couch and delivered 300 fish tacos to Baltimore Ravens fans out at the Murph when Ted Marchibroda was our coach, and Jim Harbaugh was the Ravens quarterback. And I used to come on the radio here in the 90s, Jerry, and say fish tacos. People would say, what's that? I know Taco Bell, And you were down at College Park doing Taco Fiesta, and you showed up in the Inner Harbor, feels like 20 years ago now. And I don't even know your story, dude. I've sat and had a dozen beers with you over the years, and certainly a lot of shrimp tacos, because that's my preferred mode of choice at your place at Taco Fiesta over in Harbor East. But I don't know how you really wound up here, man. I know you're a San Diego dude operating legit tacos on the east side of Baltimore.
Yeah, well, I certainly never woke up one day and just said I'm going to move to Baltimore. That was certainly not in the plans. But I grew up in L.A. County, went to college at San Diego State, hooked up with a restaurant company there called the Chart House, which is a phenomenal company, and bar backing, bartending, waiting tables for them. And right out of college, didn't know what I wanted to do, but I really liked the company, so I got into management with them. And in 1988, they sent me to of all places, Baltimore, Maryland, and I got here and I just thought, why the hell would anybody live here? This place sucks. And now, 32 years later, here I am, and I love it, and it's home, and I don't think I'll ever leave. But it wasn't a love at first sight type thing. But then in
well, hold on. So I want to get this straight. 1988, the Chart House was the Chart House where like McCormick and Schmidt. Where was the Chart House in Baltimore?
Chart House sits on a building that's since been raised, but it was right in between the power plant, the actual power plant, and the aquarium right there. And
so when I say McCormick and
wasn't a
Schmick,
whole
I'm
lot.
not wrong, right? I mean, it was in that area, right?
Exactly. Yep.
I remember it. Look, I didn't have the kind of money to eat in a Chart House in 1981 or 82. I was 13 years old, right? But my mom, we came down to the harbor, and I'm assuming the Chart House kind of came as an adjunct of Harbor Place at that point because the Rusty Scuppers kind of sort of been there. Phillips was obviously the main staple of Harbor Place, but I'm trying to get my arms around what you found in '88 because in 1988 I was working at the Evening Sun. I worked downtown every day. The Orioles were still playing poorly, I might add, as well, at Memorial Stadium in '88. And Camden Yards was there was sort of a shovel in the ground, right? So you found Harbor Place, the aquarium, and the Science Center, but not much more downtown. Certainly nothing that felt like Harbor East, right?
Right. Well, just to touch on what you had said about the Orioles, when I got here in '88, they were in the middle of the longest losing streak ever.
So you arrived in April of '88.
Yeah, I think it was like 22 games, and I got here right in the middle of that. And just everything about the city, I was not a fan of. But like I said, I've done a complete reversal 180 on the whole
give me
thing.
that. Tell me how that happens, how you wind up in a place and wind up staying your whole adult life here making tacos on the east side of town and being a real Baltimore guy.
I made a lot of good friends, and I just really came to appreciate Baltimore for, what it was and that whole underdog spirit. And it just felt like me. I could really identify with the working class mentality out here. And there was never a day that I just said, this is it. It just kind of evolved and started looking for a place to open a restaurant, which was now Taco Fiesta. Started looking in Baltimore in probably '89. Just couldn't find the right spot, and I ended up in College Park, and I opened up there in 1990, and a little 16-seat restaurant and a little strip shopping center. We sat right behind Town Hall Liquor Store there, and I had that for 12 years. 16 seats, all the cooking equipment, everything was up front, and I stood in an area of, probably 10 by 4, and for 12 years I cooked and talked to people as they came through the doors. And when
original sort of a Guy Fieri truck mentality, sort of like the modern era would have been like a food truck, right?
Yeah, we cut our teeth down there in College Park and had a lot of fun, made a lot of good friends. And to this day, I don't think there's a day that goes by here in Baltimore that I don't see somebody who wasn't a customer from College Park way back when. I mean, a lot of them live and work right in the community where we are in Harbor East, but they've taken care of me over the years. And these past few days, haven't been any different. I mean, they've really been taking care of us. So it's been, been a neat ride. But, we were there for 12 years in College Park, and right about '02, and we sold that, moved it up here to Harbor East, and we were one of the very first places to open in Harbor East. We've been there over 16 years now, and watching that place go up and boom and, grow around us has been pretty cool.
Fast, fresh, fun. That's Taco Fiesta. I know it if you've shopped at the Whole Foods, and Whole Foods is going to be moving soon. My wife and I took a walk on Friday night because, what the hell else are we going to do? We walked over to Patterson Park, and had a pizza in the park, which we've never done. So we're trying to do things we've never done or would never think of doing. And we walked through, and I saw that the Whole Foods is like, it's got stuff on the shelves in there and whatnot. Your neighborhood's about to change, but it's been 20 years, right? Neighborhoods change, things change. I don't even know what's going into that space, but the whole community has grown up around you, and now we're at a really crucial time, I think, for the future of the city, hence Baltimore Positive, my movement in doing all of this stuff. And now we have this pandemic that is going to change our country, literally over the next 5 years, I think. And for anyone out there, and a guy like you's always hustled, a guy like me's always had my own place, this is a time where guys like us find ideas and find new things in these times of turmoil. Give me what you've learned the last couple of weeks in this pandemic.
Well, it hit us hard and it hit us fast, the whole industry, the whole world, really. So, we're just trying to do our small part to just within our doors, we're just trying to do what we need to do every day to make assessments about moving forward and keeping the place open. We are open as of now. again, we're just making a different assessment every single day as far as weighing, the need to stay open, the need to keep our employees working and generating income, weighing that with the overall health of the staff and the customers and the overall community. But we're just keeping an eye on things, trying to move forward cautiously every day and doing what we do. Luckily for us, we do carry out. We've done, third-party delivery for a long time, so not a lot's changed for us. We're running with the full menu. Outside of we've cut down on the salsa bar. We're not doing the salsa bar right now, which is one of the big draws of our place. So we're trying to retool that and rethink it. But we're just throwing fresh salsas in cups, pre-portioned cups into each order. But just like everybody, just trying to figure this out day by day as we go, and just doing what we have to do. One of the neat things we're doing here very soon is we're going to be stocking just staples, household supplies, toilet paper, paper towels, bottled water, bleach, maybe some dry goods that people can come in and maybe instead of hitting the big grocery store, if you're going to need some of the food, you're going to have to go there anyway. But if you need some household staple items, we're going to have those on for sale as well. So just hopefully trying to make it easier for people to stay away from the crowds. And if you want to come in and grab a burrito and a bucket of bleach or whatever, we can do that too.
Taco Fiesta's been feeding me for a long time down at the Harbor East location. You can find them. I don't even know the name of the street. I have to look at it. Exeter Street. I've been on it 1,000 times, but I don't think of the name of the street. It is Exeter Street down in Harbor East, and telling a story. Man, you're a sports guy. Sports is always on. I was down there with my dear friend Chris Pike, who comes on the show all the time. He and his wife Kate. We had some tacos down there watching a Monday Night Football game back in football season. You're a sports guy. I'm a sports guy. Having it taken away. Your wife had a pretty good year. I know she's a Chiefs fan, so I don't have that whole AFC West thing worked out with you Chargers and Chiefs people together. But man, sports and having it gone, and it's the bread and butter of what I do. It'd be like tacos being gone for you, right? Or Mexican food being gone, or beer, for crying out loud. But this has been a little bit of an exhale, I think, for everybody to say what is important to you. Is it food? Is it tacos? Is it your kids? Is it your family? Is it that close connection you want to make? And I think the one thing that I've learned about this social distancing, just walking 2 times in the last week, is it's really hard to stay away from people. We're not built like that. We're not built to avoid each other.
Well, you're right, especially being in the service industry. Again, it's hit us all hard, and I'm just used to every single day people coming in, 20, 40, 60, 100 people coming in who I know on a first-name basis or more, and just getting to talk with them, shooting the breeze, having a good time, and that's all been taken away. And you're right, it's just the social aspect for us, for me anyway, more than anything else, and coming to realize how much that meant to the business with having something like this thrown in your face to understand that, hey, it's just it's one of the joys of being in the restaurant business and being an owner. You go through a lot of stuff every day and a lot of issues. I mean, you walk through that door and it just starts to hit you in the face. But one of the things that's always been fun for me is just I've got hundreds of friends walking through that door every single day, and I get to hear about their day. We get to joke around. We get to have a good time, and that's all been taken away. But it's going to come back, and I believe it's going to come back very strong here soon. People are they're gonna want to get out, and they're gonna want to socialize again, and I believe it's going to happen quick once this whole thing goes down.
All right, man. Well, I can get some guacamole and chips from you and some shrimp and all that, and no more grief about San Diego State maybe beating the Terps. We'll never know, right? We'll just never know, right?
Yeah. Now, and getting back to that, the Chiefs, I think my wife would be upset with me if I didn't at least mention that. You're right. She's from Kansas City, and that was a fun season right there. And we were set. We were set to have her family and friends out here for the AFC Championship, because we thought for sure, like everybody, Baltimore was going to win that game. The Chiefs were going to win their game, and we had that game all planned out. And then, we all know what happened there. But,
well, at least somebody had a good time. Give your wife my best. If it can't be us, it might as well have been them. I'm happy for Andy Reid. Not so happy about Suggs, but, it goes along with the package. Yeah. I'm happy for the good people of Kansas City, where I've enjoyed many, many barbecue experiences. I could say that.
I'll tell you what, once in a lifetime, literally, for those people out there, for most of that city. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch the whole thing through her eyes. And, yeah, and it was great season, a lot of fun. But, hey, I'm a Ravens fan, so I'm off that bandwagon now. I'm off the Chiefs bandwagon.
Well, yeah, you got to get your purple back going here. So, now that Phillip Rivers has left the Chargers, you can give them up too. How about that?
Yeah, I never really was much into the Chargers, but I'm more of an LA boy.
You know what? I think I knew that about you. So, I always think of you as San Diego, but it wasn't necessarily a Padre thing for you. Hey, man, and to have any sport back at this point, I think we're all looking forward to the day we can go have a beer at a ball game, or at least come over to Taco Fiesta and watch a ball game. Jerry, take care of yourself. Congrats to your wife and the Chiefs. We're going to shut everything else down around here for sports for a little bit. So to the victor go the spoils. At least they get to print all that stuff and wear all the fun Super Bowl logo stuff during the pandemic. We'll get back to doing what we're doing. We'll be over to have a beer with you soon. Always great to visit with you. And, stay open, stay safe out there. And as I'm telling everybody, wash your hands, Jer, right?
Absolutely. It's what everybody in the restaurant industry has been doing anyway. We're just doubling down our efforts, that's all.
Well, yeah, my wife says that too. After the couple of cancer battles and all the masks and the gloves and stuff, we're sort of built for this. We are staying calm and local and keeping it positive around here. Jerry Gutierrez, our guest from Taco Fiesta. Go find them over in Exeter Street. You can find them at tacofiesta.com. Jerry's been a friend of mine for 2 decades, serving me up some shrimp tacos. That's one of the problems with me with, like, familiarity. I never go for anything else. I always get the same thing. I like the shrimp tacos. I go with the shrimp tacos. That's my thing. Got to stretch out, branch out, go with a quesadilla or a burrito one day. Nasty at WNST.net is the best way to find me. We are doing pandemic radio. We're talking to friends of mine in the Baltimore business community, doing the Baltimore positive thing. Sports will be back at some point. We'll pay attention to it. And when the Ravens are doing stuff, you'll get it first on the WNST tech service. It's all brought to you by our friends at Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. Dennis Colatzos will be here on Thursday from 3 until 5, driving you home. We'll talk some pandemic. We'll talk about getting out of this thing and staying safe, keeping everybody safe, because that's important. And I hope wherever you are, you're safe. Wash your hands. Do what your mom told you to do always. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports and Baltimore positive.